Good afternoon to you. This is Jenny from Gemini Crafts. I hope you can hear me over the noise of the hedge cutters outside. It's a little bit noisy, to say the least. They've been going up and down. They're very good, I have to say. It's the local council. We have a footpath which is just the other side of our hedge, and they're very good in that they do come along and trim the hedges down, and I have to say mine was a little bit more overgrown than most people's, so it was encroaching onto the path rather. Oh good, I'm glad you can hear me. So I'm really grateful actually, because they've been there since this morning, going all the way up and down the path, and I thought, oh, that's brilliant, they're finished before they get to me, but no, they're back again. I was tempted to go out and ask them if they wanted to take the top off my hedge as well, but if they're still there when I finished, I might do that. Anyway, good afternoon and welcome. This is Jenny McCormack from Gemini Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, even, based in Brackley in the centre of the UK. So thank you for joining me for my Facebook Live. I always welcome comments, so feel free to add and comment. Hi Linny, hi Tracy. Let's see who else is with us. Molly, hi Molly. Scylla, Pauline. So thank you for joining me so far. So yesterday we featured this small sunflower design, and we did a variety, 3 actual different designs. That was the one with the white on the crumb cake, but we also did this one here, stamped onto Whisper White card and then just coloured in with blends, and we did this one here which was stamping onto the bumblebee coloured card. And what I actually added after the Facebook Live were these little dots in cinnamon cider in the same colour. I just thought it softened it up a little bit, so I added those after. And I was so pleased with the design yesterday that after the Facebook Live in the morning I carried on and made a whole stack of cards. So literally, I've got a mixture of thanks and celebrate. There was one of those, there was the white one in there, so literally, I don't know, 20 odd cards in there, all after yesterday, because I needed to do some team cards and also thank you cards for my customers. So I just literally carried on afterwards, and what I actually did for these ones was I stamped a complete sheet of A4 with the sunflowers, and then when I cut it up, let me see if I can find one here. Here's one. So I cut it into quarters, but it also meant that I had some bits left over. So the strips I had left over, in all cases, I then just either put down the side or across the bottom. So it just sort of finishes that off. There's one here. Oh no, that one's down the side as well. So rather than cut it to size and do it, which I'd done previously, so I made use of all the extra little bits and pieces. If I can find one across the bottom. Of course I can't now, can I? So really quick and easy. There's one. And just straight stamping, no colouring in required. I used the bumblebee, but you could have done that easily on just the white. And there's a strip of the offcut across the bottom. So I hope you liked that. That was yesterday's simple stamping card. So we're going to carry on that theme today. Hi Marlene. Hi Marion. Hi Scylla. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to feature this larger sunflower. Now today I'm sticking with simple stamping still. And then tomorrow I'm going to step it up, and Thursday I'm going to step it up again. So just to show you the different things really that you can do with this stamp set. So there are dies, and I'm going to introduce those tomorrow, but for today we're just working on this particular stamp, the very large sunflower. So what I'm going to use for my layers is, I've got one piece that is about 3.5 inches square. That's going to fit my sunflower, like so. I've got a backing layer behind that, which is soft suede, as I've run out of my Early Espresso, as I told you yesterday, because I've used it all up. And then that is going to go onto the bumblebee layer behind it. So very simple layers. You could do it without the middle layer if you wanted to. So what I'm going to do is going to stamp in Early Espresso this time, and then just show you a few hints and tips for colouring in. Now you could colour this in with blend pens. You could also colour it in to an extent with our Stampin' Write markers. You could also use a watercolour effect. What you would need to do in that case is use a permanent ink. So you'd need either the StazOn Saddle Brown or the StazOn Black. Okay, so I might do a watercolour one just to show you something different later in the week, perhaps on Friday. So let me crack on with this while it's nice and quiet. I have got my windows closed, which does mean it's slightly warm in here. Let me just lift the blinds for you, give a little bit more light. So I hope everybody is keeping well. It's a lovely day here again. They have threatened possible showers this afternoon. We did have thunder and a bit of lightning yesterday, but it's not been too bad. Hi Sarah, and hi Maretta. So lovely to see you. Have you joined me, I should say. Okay, so I'm going to use Early Espresso, and I'm going to ink up the stamp. So I'm using the large one. We used the small one yesterday. So if you didn't catch our live yesterday, by all means hop back and have a look. It's a great, well hopefully a good example of some simple stamping. So I have re-inked, finally, my Early Espresso ink. So it's got nice coverage. And I'm just literally going to stamp that in the centre of my 3.5 inch squared piece of Whisper White card, like so. Beautiful. I think I'll do another one while I'm here, and then I can put the ink pad and the stamp away. So really nice image, and because all of the lines where it's darker have been added for you, that actually in its own right does a lot of the shading. Now I could also on this add one of the leaves or a few of the leaves, and what I could do is stamp and cut out an edge. I might do that for the second one, just to add the leaf on. I'm just going to do it as a plain sunflower to start with. Let me wipe that stamp down, especially as it's extra inky. Normally, as many of you will know, I have the opposite problem with my ink pads. They're far too dry. Okay, so I've got a combination of colours really. So I've got light mango melody, dark daffodil, light daffodil. I've got two dark daffodils, not quite sure why. And then I've got soft suede, crumb cake, a little bit of pumpkin. So really you can get away with any light and dark yellows for sunflowers. Oh, good, Sarah. Oh, hi, Carol. There was quite a lot pushed in. I hope it all made it well. So what I'm going to start is, I'm going to start with the light mango melody. I've actually got a dark one here. Let me open that one up. So what I'm going to do is my usual very relaxed technique of colouring, for those of you that know me. So I'm just going to start, actually, because it's quite a big stamp, I'm going to use the brush end. So starting from the centre, using that brush movement so it's slightly feathered, and I'm just really following the lines. Those ones sort of go at a little bit of an angle, so I'm turning this round to make it easier to colour in. They're hoovering everything up now, I can hear them. Like so. And then I'm going to look at these ones at the back and at the top. Basically anywhere there's a darker line which would indicate additional depth, really, or shade. There we go. This is a really forgiving stamp, I've decided, as is the small one. So just using the dark mango where the darker patches are. Nothing really technical about that. So then I'm going to use the light mango melody to blend that out a little bit. And then I'm going to use the lighter one again on the tips. So this is light mango melody, and then I'm going to use the daffodil. And then you can go back in and add a bit more depth if you want. So I have got pumpkin pie that I can add in. So go. So I'm leaving the tips. Let's add a little bit of pumpkin. Hi Claire. Oh, Moretta, yours arrived. Oh, good. It's really nice, I have to say. So this is a little bit of pumpkin pie. So just adding this again where those darker lines are. And, you know, again, just scribbling in. So for those of you that saw my post just before I came live, I've been waiting for these boxes from UPS. So I know Stampin' Up had shipped them out. And I was due to get one yesterday, which never arrived. Obviously never even got on the lorry. And then I knew there were 4 due over the next 2 days. But according to the update this morning, they were still in East London. Anyway, about 20 minutes ago, UPS man draws up and no less than 5 boxes arrive. So, guess what I'll be doing? Which is always very exciting. I love opening. I did have to say I have opened the boxes. I did have time to do that and check all the bits and pieces were there that should be there, and they were. So I'll be busy repacking those and getting them sent out to anybody who took part in my sale. And then my next lot of boxes are my class to go boxes. So busy, busy. There we go. So you could go back in and add another layer of colour if you wanted. I'm going to do the centre, but it does come together relatively quickly. Hi Baz! Let me just lift that up so you can see it, hopefully. I'm hoping it will focus. Okay, just going to do a light centre and then a bit of crumb cake. And this one. So this is light soft suede. Like so. There we go. So fairly quick and easy. You can literally just scribble it around a little bit if you want, or you can do it in much more detail. Just going to put a little bit of yellow on there, like so. Okay, so it creates a really stunning sunflower, as you can see. And all I'm going to do is pop that layer onto here. Okay, and then decide which way around I want it on my card. But what I thought I'd do is add some texture to this by putting it through one of our embossing folders. So the embossing folder I was thinking of using, which I had in front of me, here we go, is this one here, called Tasteful Textile, and that's exactly what it does. It makes it look like it's textile, like a fabric. So what I'm going to do is just literally pop that in my folder like so and run it through my die cutting machine. So I have exciting news in that we have the die cutting machine in our new catalogue, which started in June, but the die cutting machine wasn't released at the time the catalogue was released, but they have given us the information now, so demonstrators are able to order the large die cutting machine on a given date in August, and then as customers, if you want the new Stampin' Up! Die cutting machine, either because you haven't got one or maybe your one is a little bit worse for wear, then you'll be able to order that in early September. So just to give you a heads up for that. So I shall be ordering mine as soon as the pre-order opens, just because I want to see what it's like and how it operates, so I can give you my opinion. So for now I'm just going to pop this through the Big Shot die cutting machine. I'm not going to lift it up because all you'll see is me winding it through, which is not very exciting. Oh, that's annoying, Moretta. Okay. So, I'm hoping you can see the difference. This is the non-textured one, and this is the textured one. Let me know if you can see that. So it makes it look like fabric. So we do have a subtle embossing folder, which I would say is one layer down from that, for want of a better description. So slightly more subtle. So let me know if you can see that okay. And then what I'm going to do is layer that onto there and that one onto there. So let me find my glue. So I'm just going to put some wet glue on the back. Now you do want to make sure that you use a good strong glue where you've used an embossing folder, because obviously it's an uneven surface. Okay, so I wouldn't recommend snail. I'd have to try the new seal, see how that performs. Certainly the Seal Plus, which is the permanent one, would stick it really, really well. So I think that is the base. If you look at the picture, this, where it's curled up, is at the bottom of the picture. So I'm reckoning that is the way they designed it to go. So I'm going to pop that onto the bumblebee. I'm also going to stamp, I think, the corner of that sunflower on the inside of my card. And I'm going to add some Wink of Stella. So I'm going to add some glitter. So this is our Wink of Stella. It looks a bit like a mascara brush. And you open it up. When you get a new one of these, it has a little black cap in here. So what you have to do is undo it, remove the cap, and then screw it right in, and that will then break the seal. So if you've got one that's not working, it may be that you've left the little protective cap on. And then make sure, if it's been not used for a little while, you give it a good shake so that the mica in the liquid moves everything around. Give it a little squeeze if you need to, so it comes down the barrel, and then you can paint over here. So I've got a glittery sunflower. I would do this after the embossing, and it takes a little while to dry, and you don't really want to leave glitter on the inside of your embossing folder. Well, you might. And I'll do the centre as well, so just literally brushing over that. I think I'm back to the beginning, and then do it over the centre. Now I haven't got much sun here, so you're not going to see this in its glory, but that is, it is shiny, but I'm not sure that you can actually see that. In detail. Okay, that is going to go onto my card, and I am going to stamp in the corner of here, I've decided. So here's my small grid paper. I'm going to open up my card because I want it opening that way. Find my ink pad. Oh, you can see it. It is really nice. There we go. So I've just inked that up. Sorry if that was off the screen. And I'm just going to put this in the corner, like so. I'm not sure that hasn't. Oh no, it's got there. There we go. So there's the sunflower at the side, inside. Okay, just going to fold that over just in case it's still a little bit damp, and pop our sunflower on. That was the way I said, wasn't it? So just adding some wet glue to that. Check I've got that right way around. Pop that onto there, like so. And because that Winkle might be a little bit wet still, I'm not going to press down in the middle for the moment. There we have our card. Now that would make a lovely set of cards for somebody. They actually make a lovely coaster. You can stamp onto coasters if you use StazOn and Blends pens. You could make a really nice set of 6 coasters for somebody. What I decided is that there's no room there for a sentiment, as you might have gathered. So what I've done is I've cut out with one of our dies. Hi Carol, nice to see you. I've cut out from our dies some sentiments, and I wasn't quite sure which one was going to look the best. So I've got a couple of thanks and a friend, and I've got Early Espresso. I managed to find a small piece. I've got gold, and then I've got bumblebee. So here's the vote as to which colour I should put on. So let me show you the 3. So I've got thanks, which I think gets a little bit lost in the centre. I could have it at an angle or down here, but I think it gets lost, my personal opinion. This is the gold one, like so. To lift it up. And then I've got thanks or friend, and then I've got bumblebee. Actually, that stands out more than the others, doesn't it? So what do you think? Bumblebee or gold? I think I'm ruling out the espresso, because I think it just gets lost in the centre, doesn't it? So I'll wait for you to let me have your thoughts. Molly says bumblebee. Scylla says bumblebee. Oh, Tracy says that's 3. See, my original thought was gold, but now on there I think bumblebee. Yeah, it's bumblebee, it is. So in our new catalogue we have our new self-adhesive sheets. So when I cut this out, what I could have done is put a self-adhesive sheet on the back and then just peeled it off. I didn't have those, so they're in the box that's on its way to me. So what I'm going to do is just pop a little bit of glue on the back. So just literally move the card out of the way. I'm hoping you can see. So just yeah, that's like nothing, isn't it? Let me just, there we go. So literally just a dot, and if you can see that, that's all I want. So just take the time to get your glue to that position. It's certainly a lot easier to use the self-adhesive sheet. Oops. Okay, and I'm going to pop this straight across the middle, I think, so that it stands out against the sunflower itself. There we go. Oh, not if your fingers are sticky though. So what I recommend is use scissors or a pen that you're not attached to with glue, and then pop that on there. There we go. Let me do my glue up. There we have it. Move those out of the way before they come to some harm. Let's move that. So what do you think? Do you like that one? So it's got its Wink of Stella on, and it's got that on the inside. I think that would be a lovely card to receive. And I do like the backing being textured rather than plain. So I think what I'll do, if it's alright with you, is I'm going to do this one, but I'm going to add the leaves. So I'm just going to do a little bit of masking, if you would like to see that. I know you probably all know how to do masking and adding layers, but I will just do that if you would like me to. Let me find a post-it note that's fairly big, like that. That's fairly big, and I'm just going to stamp onto that. Hi Claire. Oh, hi Vivian. It's such a lovely stamp, isn't it? So all I'm going to do is stamp this here. Now I'm not quite sure where I'm going to put the leaf, so what I'm going to do is cut out this. So I don't need to cut the whole thing out because I'm not going to put leaves all the way around. So I think what I'll do is put maybe a leaf in this corner and in this corner. It goes that way around, doesn't it? So I'm just going to cut out that section there. Okay, so I'll cut round the edge like so, and then all I'm going to do is cut in, and I tend to cut in from the edge on these intricate ones, just inside. I find it quicker to do it sort of into a point than cut around, if that makes any sense. So I wonder who here likes actually really fussy cutting. So the good news is there's a die for that sunflower, because obviously a couple of layers of that would look stunning. So I'm going to introduce the dies tomorrow. I haven't actually got those out of the pocket, out of the packet yet. Right. See how far I've got. So I've got enough space for the leaf here, and then I just want to do this one here. So you don't need to cut out the bits in between if you don't want to, but if you do, then keep the mask in the box, and then you've cut it out ready for next time, haven't you? Bink. Let's see if I got enough. I find with real fussy cutting, not just masks, that you either love it or you hate it. It's a bit like Marmite, it would appear. I'll do a little bit of fussy cutting, but some people would cut out almost anything, you know, tiny little words. I'll do words if they're in a rectangle. Let me clear those little bits out of the way. I've got a useful little bin that some lovely team member, Pinky's, made for me. It even got my name on it. And it's perfect because it just hooks over the door where I'm crafting. Right, let's have a look, see. Okay, I reckon that will do. So, positioning that in there. And then I'm going to stamp a leaf here and a leaf here. So, let's grab that. Is that in your sight, ladies? And I think we need the big leaf. That's the right scale, really, for this one. Let's find a block. And I just want to make sure that I'm just up inside of there. Because if you're too close, then you can get a bit of a gap. If I do, it doesn't matter because I can just colour it in. Yeah, I know the feeling. So like, I get so far and then I think, oh, I've had enough of this. So, I've stamped my sunflower. I've cut out the edge. So now I can put my leaf over, like so. Just add a little bit extra pressure where the post-it note is. To think about that. And let's have one here, which fits nicely in that corner. Hopefully, everywhere I've done the cutting. Yes, fingers crossed. So if I lift that up now, there we go. So I'll keep that mask in my packet with the stamp set. I'm just wondering if I need 3. Oh, it doesn't want to focus on that, does it? Sorry. Try and force it to focus. There we go. Do you think I need 3 leaves? Or is it alright with 2? I'll wait for somebody to comment. Let me just wipe that stamp off in the meantime. Okay, what do we think? Okay with 2. Alright, I'm going with Marita. I can always add one later, can't I, anyway? I do need to dig out a green for my leaf, but exactly the same. I'm going to use Dark Mango Melody, so if anybody didn't see the beginning bit of colouring, this might be useful for you. I'll take that away. So just take your darkest colour and the darkest lines. Actually did on the larger. I'm so used to doing small areas, so just using the larger tip in the darkest colour with a brushing motion, slightly feathering it if you can so it gets thinner and lighter as it comes out, like so. Just turn that around. Is that in focus for you? Oh, it is. It's weird how sometimes it's in focus and not, isn't it? So you can do this fairly quickly. You can just do my scribble technique, like so. Or you can do it much more accurately. If you love colouring in, then go for it, I would say. Tubby here. Light Mango Melody, just to blend that out a little bit. And because I'm going over that whole area, I'm not really worrying about individual petals, but obviously you could. There we go. Let's do a little bit in there. And then I'm just going to use the daffodil to finish off. Let me see if that will zoom in a little bit. So for this I'm starting at the tip and working in. Like so. There we go. And remember, it does lighten very slightly once it's dried. You can of course go back and add in more detail if you would like. Let's do our crumb cake centre. And a little bit of soft suede. This speckling is very effective that they've done in there. I might just add a bit of yellow in. Right, and then I'll just grab some green for the leaves. And here I have light mossy meadow and dark old olive. Let's see how we get on with those. These are actually quite similar colours, so that's light mossy meadow. This is dark old olive. Oops, that ends well and truly used. go. That's it. So if I had got any gaps from my stamping, you could fill them in with a bit of colour. Get away with it, I think. Okay, I'm tempted to put another leaf on, but I don't really know why, because some flowers actually come straight up from the stalk, don't they? And then they have leaves actually down here. But I suppose if you're looking down from the top, you'd have another one. So I just feel the need to put another one in. Sorry. Sorry, Moretta. Perhaps you were just being kind to me. So I'm just going to cut this up. So one of the other things you can colour with blends pens as well as ribbon is things like our baker's twine and linen thread. So this would look quite nice with a yellow twine, wouldn't it? Or a green one. I mean, also the natural one would look good too. Right. Where's that go? Put it up in there. 2 more petals and I'm done. Sorry, I'm just cutting that off screen a little bit. That'll do. I shall work with that. Just want to add another leaf. I might as well do that one there, mightn't I? Because you could almost guarantee that whatever I did, it would be that one petal missing. So let's work out where we stamped our leaf. There and there. So just positioning that very slightly down from the edge so I can put my leaf in there. Just pop this back underneath so I don't stamp on my work surface. There we go. That's it. There we are. Right, I'll just colour that one in and put it through the embossing folder and we're done. So I hope you like this design. It's quite different to yesterday's. Obviously this one, the way that I've done it today, takes a bit more colouring in. This is very nice as a background as well, a bit like we did with the other ones yesterday, but it works well in the background. There we go. I'm not going to do a lot of detail because I'm going to run it through the embossing folder. There it is like that. Let me pop it through. There we go. Let's find the embossing folder, which I put down very carefully. There we go. There's our embossed image. And And I've got the same set of layers to layer it up with, so I'm going to have to make do with soft suede, like so. Just put that layer together, and then pop another die cut. So the die cut that I used here comes from Well Written, and it's a nice set of dies that actually works on its own. It's designed to work with the stamp set as well, which has lots of sentiments. It's called Well Said, and but actually it also works on its own. So you've got things like bride, groom, thanks, happy, birthday, etc. There we go. Voila. This would also look nice on a green backing, I think, wouldn't it? With the green on there. It does, Molly. I think it does. Who have I got left? I've got Molly Moretta. I can't see who else is still watching. Let's get to the end of this one. Tracy's still there. Thank you, Tracy. All of your goodies have come, Tracy. So they're next in line to be packed up. I think some of Molly's seal and refill has come. That's the replacement for the snail. There we go. So lots of goodies to go out tomorrow. So I'm going to pop that on there. This would look nice with a gold backing, wouldn't it, as well, on a larger card. If you did a gold layer behind that was also embossed on a larger square card, that would look stunning. And let's grab, so this one is an offcut using the bit that I stamped yesterday. I think actually if I add a bit more pumpkin, that will stand out a bit more, won't it? So you can still do this after the embossing. So there we go. Let me unpack it first, Tracy. There we go. Let me just see what else did I have? They had a gold, didn't they? Might do one in gold just for change. Actually, just make it look a little bit different. But the same treatment, so just get your ink up and running. Ink. Glue, even. I knew what I meant. You knew what I meant, I'm sure. And then just dot it. This is really at the end of its... I might have to grab another one. Normally I can tease them out, but I think that one has really had enough. see if we get this one working. There we go. Okay, so just a little dot. As I say, I'll definitely use the adhesive sheets because that applies glue to the back without any extra work and without it going everywhere. Obviously the workmen have gone, haven't they now? Angle, straight. There we go. So I'm just using the pen because my fingers are a little bit tacky. There we go. There we are. So I hope you like those from today. I could add a few dots as well if I wanted to. I can't see my little dots, but you could add, you know, 3 yellow dots would look nice. But I think I'm going to leave them exactly like that. So thank you so much for joining me today. Do come back and see me tomorrow. So I'll be live tomorrow, that's Wednesday at 10 AM. But you will be able to watch me on catch up, obviously after that time. And all of the videos from this week will be on YouTube, and I'll load them up each day. So you'll be able to follow those on there. If you just search YouTube for Jenny McCormack or Gemini Crafts, or follow the link which I'll add in at the base of this video. Thank you so much indeed for joining me. I hope you like those. If you've got the sunflower set, give those a go. Do share on my VIP page if you're a customer. Love to see what things you've created. So thanks so much for joining me. Stay safe, look after each other, look after yourselves, won't you? And do keep crafting. Thank you. Bye bye.